Hello and welcome back, or welcome to By Hook or By Needles. Today we are going to be working up just a few rows of our repeat as a swatch, just to get then a basic idea of the width of one repeat, so that we can then work out how many repeats we need for our full project. Once again, just to repeat, I am using a 4-ply yarn, which is I think about a 2 weight, and a 3.5mm or a E hook. And I'm going for this, I decided to go for this marble statue, because I need 2 balls of it, and I had 2 balls of this. It might be a bit of a problem with this background. If it is, I'll change the background, but I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. We'll have to wait and see. So what do we need to start off doing? Well, first things first, we're going to chain 45. So we're going to do a slip knot, and we are going to do a chain of 45 because the repeat is 44 plus 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Okay, so this is my chain. What I'm going to do, and this will just make it easier for the first row, I'm going to count to the 4th back bump, if I can see it. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and this is my 4th one, and I'm just going to put a stitch marker in there. Now 45 is the width of our chain, but then to start the row, because and we start every row the same, we need to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. No, I think it's, no, it's not. It's not that one. It's the next one. Sorry. It's the next one. Because that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5th one. So it's your 5th one from your hook you need to put your stitch marker into. Okay. So 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to chain 6. That's going to be the starting chain. We are going to start every row with a chain of 6. And that's 1, 2, 3, which becomes the height of our first double crochet. And then a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, which becomes the chain between the double crochets. So we then work into our 11th chain from the hook, which should be the one we've marked. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, and it's our 11th. So we're going to work a double crochet into that 11th chain. And once I've done that, got my hook in there, I can remove the stitch marker and I can work my double crochet. Right. Now, this doesn't look like a very good double crochet, does it? Hang on. Into that. And work a double crochet. That's slightly better. Okay, and so what we've got there is our first square. Okay, we've got 3 chain in between this double crochet and the double crochet created by a chain of 3, and then we've got 3 chain up there. We're going to do another 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 3 chain and go into the 4th, 1, 2, 3, into the next chain with a double crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, into the 4th with the next double crochet. I'm going to just do this all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, into the 4th. Now you don't have to go into the back bumps, you can go into the chain if you prefer a different way. Oops. Now I need to do that, redo that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We should end up with 11 squares as our base. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hopefully, if I am out by a chain, I can show you how to fix it. And if I'm not, we won't be able to show you how to fix it. And then we go 1, 2, 3 into the next. This bit's always a bit fiddly working into the chain. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, we skip and we go into the next, which is the 4th. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th. 1, 2, 3, and we should have 4 left, which we do. 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th. Okay, that gives us our first row of our repeat. And if we just count, we should have 11 squares. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Beautiful. So we chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we turn our work. Now it gets a little bit easier because we're just going to be working a double crochet into the double crochet, which is a little bit easier to work into than the chain. And then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then just jump over to the next double crochet. One, 2, 3, double crochet, one, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's my cat, you can hear. If you can hear him, his claws are actually catching on the carpet. He needs clipping. He doesn't like it. He gets very distressed with me. He hisses at me, which he thinks is very brave. 1, 2, 3. There's a couple more. Like I say, there's no gauge to meet with this. You merely just have to measure whatever gauge you end up with. So, you know, you do not have to have a gauge with it. Okay, so now we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go into the 4th. Because we still want our space of 3, and then we go into the next chain. Okay, then I'm going to just place a stitch marker in that, and that gives us our first or our second row. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to set up with my blocking board, and we're going to do some measurements. Back in a second. Okay, this is a blocking board my dad made for me, which I'm very lucky to have. Okay, so I'm just going to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to pop that one in there, and I'm just going to hold it taut enough that it's not pulled, but you know, that it's, I don't want to stretch it. I could stretch it all the way out to here, but I'm not. I'm just going to hold it at a reasonable tension to there, so that just holds it flat. Okay, so we've just done 2 rows only. I'm going to grab my tape measure, and I'm going to measure what I've got. I've got 21 centimeters, or 8 1/4 inches. Okay. Yep, 21 centimeters and 8 1/4 inches. So I can only do it by the measurements by centimeters, so I know that I need to do, what did I say, 150 centimeters is how long I want my shrug to be, and we're going to divide that by 21. And I'm not going to do it I'm not going to do it without a calculator, so I'm just going to bring up my calculator on my desktop, and we are going to go 150 divided by 21, and that comes out as 7.1. So it comes out as 7.142, blah 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 blah. So I'm going to reduce it to 7. So I'm going to have 7 repeats. Okay, that's how many repeats I need, is 7 repeats. Now we know it's 7 repeats, and it is 44 stitches per repeat. So it's 7 times 44 plus 1. So that will be 7 times 44 plus 1. It's going to equal 309 chain is what I'm going to need to start with. for my shrug. Okay, now you're obviously more than likely going to have something different. The first time I did this with similar sized yarn and hook, I had only 6 repeats and only needed 260 odd chain. So I'm going to work up a chain now. I'm going to unravel what I've got here, and I'm going to work up a chain of 309, and every four, oh, I'll show you, hang on. Alright, because the first, I'm going to put a stitch marker in, but I'm not going to put a stitch marker in every 44, because the first stitch marker will need to go in after 45. Okay, so let me just get rid of that blocking board. Ooh. Wrong way around. Okay, that fits in there like that. So, and then once I've done my chain, I'm just going to check it up against who I'm giving it to, just to make sure that, you know, it does look okay. So, the first stitch marker will go in at 45 chain, because that's 44 plus 1, and all the others will be 44 chain. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. And then I'm just going to put stitch marker into the back bump of that 45th one, and then I'm going to continue. That's one repeat, and then I'm just going to continue now, and every 44th chain I'm just going to put a stitch marker into the back bump until I have 7 repeats, or 309 stitches. So rather than you sit here and be bored watching me count, I'm going to pause and come back when I have finished. Okay, there I have finished. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 repeats, and I have placed a stitch marker in the 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th chain. That's my cats fighting, if you hear that. And that is because that will become the 11th chain when I work the first row. So here we go. Working the first row, we're going to chain 6 each time. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to work into the 11th stitch, which is the one I've already marked, but just to make sure, I've got 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we're going to work into that 11th stitch with just a double crochet. So we are just going to do what we did now for the, I'm going to take that stitch marker out. We're just going to do now for what we did for the gauge or sample swatch, whatever you want to call it, to get our measurements. We're just going to chain 3, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, and go into the, where's my back bump? Sorry, my yarn. I've got my, I've got it slightly twisted. Hang on, let me work this out. Oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, okay, that's why, because I worked into the wrong part of the stitch. Aha, I didn't work into my back bump. So I'm just going to take that stitch out, mark where I have to go. Don't want to lose that 11th stitch or 11th chain, and go into the back bump. That'll be better. Okay, that's better. Now it'll be not twisted. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, skip 3, 1, 2 and 3, and work into the 4th with another double crochet. This of course is a treble if you are following along from the UK. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and work into the 4th. And we're just going to do this all the way along, and that's a long chain. And we're going to have, when we're finished, because I've got 7 repeats, 7 11s, it is 77. So I will have 77 squares, or that's what I should have when I am finished, and I will be counting that when I am finished, just to make sure I haven't made any silly mistakes along the way. So we will just continue along, as I say, doing this for our first row of our shrug. Now you don't need to really see me do all 77 squares, I'm sure. Whoops. It's going to be the same all the way across. It is simply going to be chain 3, 2, 3, skip 3. You can see 1, 2, 3, and go into the 4th with a double crochet. And it's as simple as that. 1, 2, 3. Just take your time. There's no rush. You don't want to have uneven sort of tension with fillet. You don't want it to sort of, you want the squares to be as even as possible. Sort of when you look at it, you want it to sort of look like they are really nice and standard and similar. You know, I mean, there's going to be a bit of variance here and there. Like this one's a little bit wider at the top, but you know, that's to be expected, human error and all the rest of it. But you do want to try and keep them fairly standard as you go. So I will just leave that with you, and I will just continue. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th, and I will meet you back here at the end of this row when we start our second row. So I will be back in a long time, in a long time from now. If you have any problems at all following along, please, you know, use the settings to slow down or speed up. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th. Now, I'll work to the end of the stitch marker, because that will let me know I'm on track or not. 1, 2, 3, and I would leave this stitch marker in just for reference. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th, because you will know that that is the end of a repeat. And we got 1, 2, 3, which is exactly what we need. Now you're probably thinking, why don't we have 4? We don't have 4 because we've got the +1 at the end. Okay, we've got the +1 at the end, and the last stitch of the repeat is the first stitch of the next repeat. That's just the way this is working out. So we're just going to go into that. I'm not even going to take the stitch marker out. And whoops, I forgot my chain 3. See, 1, 2, 3, and we will go into the back bump with a double crochet, and then I'm just going to make sure, get the stitch marker, I'm just going to pop that there so it doesn't unravel on me. I'm just going to make sure that I've got 11 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Perfect. So that's my first repeat. Let's see if I get the same mesh length, just to make sure. Yep, it's about 21 still. 21 centimeters, 8¼ inches. So right on track. Okay, so I'm going to finish this row as is. So basically what you need to do as you come to each stitch marker, because like I say, the first stitch marker went in chain number 45, okay, and this, then every other stitch marker should have gone into your 44th chain. There should be a double crochet going into each of these, oh, can't hear it everywhere, each of these stitch marker spots, stitch marker chains. If for some reason it's not, then maybe you miscounted somewhere along the line. Maybe, you know, when you were counting your 3 chain, you didn't count the first one because this might have been pulled up too much and shrunk the next back bump, so you couldn't see it properly, so you skipped one or something like that. So you can just go back and just check that section. That's the whole lot. That's the beauty of having little sections like this. You only have to check 44 stitches instead of the 309 which I have got in my Shrug. Okay, so I'm going to end it, not end the video, but end it there, and then we're going to move on. When I come back, we will be, gosh, if I can get my tongue around it, we will be at the beginning of the second row. See you very shortly, or, well, shortly for you, long time for me. Okay, here we are at the end, and just going to do 1, 2, 3 chain, skip 3, and go into the last chain there, and that is 1 row done. Okay, so remember we start with 6 chain each time, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to turn, and now it gets a little bit easier because we just need to work into the top of the previous row's double crochet with 3 chain in between each. And our 6 chain we started with is 3 chain for the double crochet, and 3 chain is for the 3 chain in between the 2 double crochets. Okay, and we just continue this. This is just another row of just making fillet squares. It is no pattern as such still, because we are still doing, we've just done our first row, which is completely empty squares, and now we've done our second row, and that's also completely empty squares. So I'm just going to pop that down, just wanted to show you that. So we're just going to keep going and doing that. As I say, it's just 3 chain and into the previous row's double crochet. Nothing could be simpler. Don't have to think at all with this one. The only time you have to start thinking is when you do your first row of your pattern, and that's the beauty too with these fillet patterns, is once you positioned those three filled in squares in the right spot, you can then just increase, or decrease or misplace, squares based on the previous row. As long as you get the first row spot on and in the correct position, you can just, a matter of, when you look at the next row, you go, okay, so I've got to fill in the square on either side of the previous row's squares. Just one square extra on either side, and that sort of thing. In this case, you don't increase any. Up here you would just do 2 rows of filled fillet squares. So it really is very doable for your beginner. I'm trying to make it as easy to follow for all levels, skill levels. And I really think it is, yeah. It's something that everyone can do and enjoy doing. And your previous row really is your guideline of, what do I do, where do I go, what do I fill in, what don't I fill in. Okay, I'm going to finish up here. The next video will be, I'm going to make it almost immediately, but you probably won't see it. I think I'm putting this one up on, let me have a look. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. So let's have a look. The first one went, the getting started one went up on the 8th of August. I'm going to put this one up on the 10th of August. And the next one will be the 12th or 13th of August. And then we'll just do a few more rows. Probably will be the 12th of August, I would say. So this one's going to be put up on the 10th of August, which because 10th of August in Australian time, that is. And the next one will be I think it'll be the 12th of August Australian time. So that'll be the 11th of August for most of those in the US. Okay, so just finish this row, just continuing to do your chain of 3 and working into a double crochet into the previous row's double crochet. And it really is as simple as that. Just be mindful of your tension. You don't want to be too tight or too loose. You do want to try and maintain a sort of reasonable sort of facsimiles of lots of little squares. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for today. Take your time. There's no hurry. You've got plenty of time before Halloween, and I will see you in a couple of days with the next video. Bye for now. Oh, don't forget your thummies. Thanks very much. Bye. Hi and welcome. Welcome back. This is Sam from By Hook or By Needles, and today we're going to be working on row 3 of the pattern. Not just row 3, but we're going to start off working with row 3. And as you can see here, I have a diagram of row 3. Now I just need to work out how nope, that's not the way to do it. I can't work out how to magnify it. Anyway, you can see that there are 4 empty squares, So the first thing we're going to do is have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 empty boxes, empty windows, empty squares, whatever way you wish to word it. And then we are going to have 3 filled squares. And then we're going to finish with 4 empty squares, which should bring us to our stitch marker, which is going to indicate the end of that repeat. So I've got 7 repeats in total to do. You obviously don't want to see all 7 repeats. So what I'm going to do with each row is I'm just going to show you how to work one repeat. Then I'm going to go off screen and finish all of my other 6 repeats and come back and show you row 4. And I'm going to keep doing that until whatever time. I'm going to try and keep them to 30 minutes long at the most. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. So as stated hang on, I just need to get rid of the image. You've seen that. Let's just go to the full screen for our tutorial. So we're going to start with a chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Turn our work, and we're going to go into that first double crochet with a double crochet. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 into the next double crochet with a double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 3 chain into the next double crochet with a double crochet. Got 3 windows, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 chain, and then we're going to go into this double crochet with another double crochet. So there's our 4 empty squares, windows, blocks, whatever you wish to call them. So then we are going to go and we're going to fill the next 3. Now there's 2 ways you can go about this. You can either just work into the space with your 3 double crochet, or you can do what I'm going to do, and I'm actually going to work into the chain. I'm going to put 1 double crochet into each of the 3 chain, just so that they stay spaced and that they don't sort of, in during wear, group together and perhaps distort the image a little bit. But you do whatever is more comfortable for you. So we're just going to go over and into the first chain with a double crochet. And it doesn't matter how you go into the double chain. I would just grab 2 legs of the chain and have 1 remaining, but you could just grab 1 chain and have 2 remaining. Really doesn't matter. Just try and be consistent. That's all I would say. So pick up a loop and 2, yarn over into there, whoops, pick up a loop and 3rd double crochet. And you can sort of see how they're not going to move. They're sort of anchored there now. So, you can wash it and then wear it, and they're not going to be all bunched up together. Once again, entirely your choice. And then we're going to do a double crochet into our double crochet as usual. And then I'm going to do another 3 double crochet into the 3 chain, or the next space. Oops, can I find it? Yep, that's that one. And then 1 more. It might take a little longer, but I think overall you're going to get perhaps a better, more evenly spaced look. And one into the double crochet, and then we're going to do our final one. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go, it's my first one, there's my second, and then my third. And then into the, double crochet with a double crochet. So you can now see that I have done 3 empty blocks, and I've filled the next 3 blocks. And then we're just going to finish off this repeat with another 4 empty blocks. So let's just chain 3, into the next double crochet, chain 3, chain 3, and then into that last double crochet, and that is going to be the full repeat. Okay, and you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 empty windows, and then 1, 2, 3 filled windows, and we end with 4 empty windows. We're going to do that, well, I'm going to do that 6 more times. You may have less, you may have more, depending on the yarn and your tension and all the rest of it and what you worked out at the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to come back with row 4. And I'm going to find the pause. There it is. Okay, so I have now completed all 7 of my repeats. I am turned my work, and I am going to start row 4. And you can see from the image that there, this time we're going to start with 3 empty blocks, and then we're going to have 5 filled blocks, and finally finish off with 3 empty blocks. So we're going to start with chain of 6 as usual. 2, 4, 6, yep. And I'm just going to do that, and we're going to have 3 empty blocks. So double crochet into the double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and our final double crochet. And my cat has just been very annoying. So got 3 blank squares, and now we'll look at this. I've got 3 filled in ones, and I'm going to go on top, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filled blocks. So for the first ones, we're just going to go into the chains, or I am. You can go into the space. It's entirely up to you. I'm going to put one double crochet into the top of each double crochet there. I apologize if you can hear my cats munching on their biscuits. I think this black background is certainly better than the cream one I had for seeing things. I hope you agree. Okay, up to I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do our 5th and final one. Oops. That first chain is a little bit tight. Okay, so we've done our 5 filled blocks. And then I'm just going to do 3 more empty ones, and that brings me to the stitch with the stitch marker around, which is my indication that that is the end of my repeat. So chain 3. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you can see that it is 1, 2, 3 empty blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filled blocks, and 3 empty. That is the row 4. And you can see from the diagram that is what we need to do. Okay, so I'm going to once again pause here, and I'm going to work my other 6 repeats, and we'll come back and show you row 5. Okay, back again for row 5, and you can see from the diagram that we are going to have 2 empty windows. Then we're going to fill 2, and then we're going to leave 3 empty. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to fill the next 2. This is going to give us and then 2 empty. So this is going to give us teeth. Now when we get to do our teeth, we're actually going to still be working into, oh my cat, the double crochet. So if you can sort of follow this double crochet up, we're going to work into that. So we're going to do, oh, thank you, cat. Go settle down. We're going to filled block. We're going to do a double crochet there. We're going to do a chain of 3 and skip 3 and do a double crochet into this double crochet. Chain 3, skip 3, double crochet, chain 3, skip 3, double crochet, and then we're going to fill 2 blocks. And the reason for that is we want to have like teeth, individual teeth, if you know what I mean, like a sign that the teeth are there but not there, if you know what I mean. So this is row 5. I will just remove the photo and oh, there we go. All right, so we're going to start as usual with our chain of 6. 6. We're going to turn around to the front of our work and we're going to do a double crochet into the double crochet. That's 1 block and chain 3 and double crochet into the double crochet. Oh, hang on, I just need to pull out some yarn. I'll just pause while I do that. Sorry about that, should have pulled out that yarn earlier. Okay, so we are going to have a filled block. We've got our 2 empty and we're going to do 3 double crochet. Then into the double crochet. And then we're going to do 3 double crochet and then a double crochet into the double crochet that makes the frame of the window. So there we go. We've got 2 empty, 2 filled. Then we're going to chain 3, skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go into the 4th with a double crochet, and that one should be, and I'll just do it first and then I'll show you. That should be, you should be able to follow that down to, the double crochet that creates the frame. See how that sort of links up, joins up. Okay, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 chain, skip 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and same thing, we've got double crochets moving up and through. We're going to do a double crochet into that. Did I pick up both legs? Yeah, yes. 1, 2, 3, and skip 3 and a double crochet. And then you can sort of see like the bottom row of teeth. This will be like the bottom row of teeth. And we are going to repeat row 5 again, and it will be exactly the same. So I will show it to you anyway. So you can see how we're going to work into the teeth and things. But yeah, it's going to be exactly the same. Rows 5 and 6 are both the same. So I'm going to work into the next 4 double crochet. And then into the next 3 chain. and then into the double crochet, which is our frame or our boxes. So we've got 2 empty, and I'll just bring back our image again. We've got 2 empty, 2 filled, 3 empty, 2 filled, and then I'm just going to finish off with 2 empty. Whoops. And that should be with our stitch marked edge. That shows us that's the end of the repeat, so we know we've got the count correct. Okay, that is row 5 completed. Once again, I'm just going to pause whilst I do the other 6 repeats I need to do. You go do the repeats you need to do, and we'll just quickly do row 6, but it is exactly the same as row 5 when we come back. Okay. Okay, so here we are, beginning of row 6. As I say, you can see from the chart that it is simply exactly the same as the previous row. I'm going to work it for you though anyway, just so you can see how we work into the teeth, work the teeth into it. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Oops, I'm going to take that picture down, sorry. There we go. 4, 5, 6, and just straight into the first double crochet. So we've got 1 block. We need a 2nd block. And there's a 2nd block. And we're just going to work a double crochet into all of the double crochets. I can't tell you how lovely and soft this yarn is that I'm using. It's a beautiful yarn. I love Bendigo woolen meals. Okay, so we've got 2 empty and 2 filled blocks. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, work into that double crochet, and then hopefully you will see a top row of teeth forming. See, there we go. Smiley skull. And then work a double crochet into each double crochet of the next 2 filled blocks. Okay, and then we've got 2 blocks. You can see there's our marker. I might move that up for the next few rows, and then we're just going to do 2 empty ones. Okay, that is the full repeat. So you just need to do that for however many more repeats you have to do. I have 6, so I'm going to do 6 more repeats, and we might just do the upper lip, and then that'll probably be the last row for today, and then yeah, we'll work on the other ones. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to come back with row 7. Okay, so this will be the last part of or the last row I'm going to do for this part. As you can see from the image, hopefully you can see it, there are going to be 3 blank squares and then 5 solid. So it's going to be similar to row 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be similar, well, it's going to be exactly the same as row 4 down here, where we have 1, 2, 3 blanks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filled in ones, and then finally 1, 2, 3 blanks again. And that is going to create our lip before we do the nose and the rest of the face. So as usual, we start off with 6 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, 6. We turn our work, we go into that first double crochet with a double crochet to create our first block. We go 1, 2, 3 into the next double crochet, and that creates 2 blocks. Oops, I keep forgetting to remove that picture, sorry. And I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put a double crochet into the next double crochet. Now, just check before we continue, that double crochet should line up with all the double crochets below. It might have a little bit of a kink in it here and there, but it'll line up with that row, which it does. So that's 3, and then we need to do 5 filled squares. So 1, 2, 3 is the first one, and then we're going to go double crochet, which is our frame, our edge of our block, and then we're going to go 3 double crochet into the chain. Once again, you do not have to go into the chain if you don't wish to. You can just go into the chain space. I'm just doing this because I think it will sit better overall, but the choice is entirely yours. And then we go into the next double crochet. We'll repeat that. So we're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and a double crochet. I hope you can't hear my heater. If you do, I apologize. It is pretty chilly here. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. double crochet for our edge. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need to do one more. 1, 2, 3, and then into the double crochet, the next one, and again that double crochet should line up with these double crochets. Then we're going to have 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 3 empty blocks. Again, this one should line up with all the others. 1, 2, 3, into the next double crochet, and finally one more into the double crochet which is marked as the end of our repeat. So there we go. Hopefully you can see that we have got 3 blank, 5 filled, and then 3 blank. That is the repeat. I'm going to go away now and do the next 6 to get 7 in total, and then yeah, but I will finish it here, and then in a couple of days I will start from row 8 and continue on, hopefully to the eyes. We might even get the eyes done in the next 30-minute block. So please give me a thumbie, and till next time, bye for now. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost a thing to press the button. Thanks. Hi and welcome back. We are on row 8 of our Halloween shrug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, okay, row 8. As you can see, excuse me, I need to clear my throat. This happens every time. Okay, let's hope this is a little bit better. So we are on row 8, and as you can see from our little diagram just here, we are going to have 2 empty squares, and then it's 7, so 2 empty and then 7 full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full, and then 2 empty again, and that's going to be just below the nose. Okay, so I'll just do that. So we start as usual with our chain of 6. I'm going to go into the first double crochet with a double crochet, and that gives us our first box. Now I need to get some yarn. Not very organized this morning, am I? Starting this. Okay. And chain of 3 and another double crochet. Then we're going to do 3 double crochet into this window. Now that's up to just like with all the others, you can go into the chain as I have been doing, or you can just go into the chain space. It doesn't matter which you choose to do, as long as it's consistent. Otherwise it might look a little bit odd if you do some in the chain and some not. So there's my 3 double crochets in the chain, and then I'm going to do a double crochet into every double crochet all the way across. Okay, just a few more to go. And then we're going to do 3 double crochet, either into the chain space or into the stitches, depending on which way you want to do it. So 1, 2, and 3, and then finish with a double crochet into a double crochet. So we've started, we've got our 2 empty squares, then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 filled blocks, and then we're going to do 2 empty. So I do a chain of 3, chain 3, and I've got my stitch marker there to let me know that that is indeed the end of the repeat. So you can see that it's coming back out for the cheeks and where the nose will be. I've got 7 repeats, so I still got 6 more repeats to do. You will more than likely have a different number. So I will pause here and I will return when I have finished my row, and we'll come back with row number 9. And here we are at row 9. Row 9 is an empty block, followed by 4 filled blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to have an empty block which will be our nose. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 filled blocks, and then 1 empty again. As usual, we start off with 6 chain. Okay, and just need to adjust that, and away we go. So we just got 1 empty block, so that's easy. And then we're going to work into this block, and then we're going to work. Just a moment, I'm going to need to pause. Okay, so that's one block filled, and then we're going to fill 3 more. One, I'm going to do 3 in the middle. 1, 2, and 3. That's the edge of our block. So that's 2 blocks done. And we got 1, 2, and 3. And the edge, that's 3 blocks. One, 2, 3. And the edge. We're going to skip the next 3 and do a chain of 3. And skip 3 stitches. And this becomes our nose, which should be centered to the teeth, which it is. And then I'm going to double crochet in all of these double crochets plus 1 extra block. The next 2 rows are actually going to be exactly the same. So I'm just going to show you one of the rows, and then I'm going to come back when I've completed both, because they are exactly the same. And then we can get on to the eyes, which becomes slightly different. The eyes are not done in a fillet sort of way. Okay, so here's our last one. We need to fill this block in. Okay, and then 1 empty block. 1, 2, 3, and a double crochet into the double crochet. And that is the end of that repeat. Now don't be worried about this sort of, if it's a little bit misshapen, because once you, I will probably have to block this, but once you, I may not have to, it depends. Once you sort of work your cuffs, because your cuff is going to be long here, it's going to really come into shape a lot more too. So row 9, I've still got 6 more repeats to do, and I will come back when we've done that with rows 10 and 11, which are both exactly the same, and then we can work on the eyes. Here we are again at the end of my row. I've turned my work, and you can see my nose is there. Now, the next 2 rows, as you can see from the diagram, are exactly the same, which is basically it's skipping the the first block will be empty, and then you're going to put a double crochet in every double crochet till you get to your nose. You're going to put your 3 double crochets in there and just keep going till the very end, and then you're doing 1 empty block there, and then you're starting the next repeat with another empty block, and that's going to be for 2 rows. So rather than do those 2 rows, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, rather than do, you know, the two rows exactly the same, I'm just going to do 1 and ask you to repeat. Okay, so I'm just going to go maximize, and that just makes it a little bit easier when it comes to videoing, and make the video a little bit shorter too, so we can get more rows in, because I really do want to try and get the eyes done today, which are after these 2 rows, and I'm not going to be able to get them done today if, you know, I keep coming back to show you rows that are exactly the same. Come on, spin for me. I've got my wool genie out because the other one was, my yarn bowl wasn't exactly working very well. So hopefully that'll make the yarn a bit easier to feed out. Okay, so it's 17 double crochet till we get to the nose. And then when I get to the nose, as I say, we're just going to crochet into either the chain 3 space or into the chain 3 of the chain 3s. 3 of the chain 3s? No, into each of the chain 3s. Once again, just do whatever you've been doing. So I've got 1 there, 2 there, and then 3, and I'm just going to crochet all the way across to the end of the repeat. And then when I come back, it's just going to be a matter of copying the row below of our work. Oh, fluffy bits. That's cat fluff. How did cat fluff get on my... No, maybe it's not cat fluff. Maybe it's actually the yarn. I don't know. Oh, come on, get off my hand. Don't you hate it when it sticks to your hand? Okay. I am loving this yarn. You know, although it's sort of, you can't really see the color changes very well, but there's sort of this is a darker or a grayer color. Here's a more of a taupey sort of color, and then there's an in-between color. It's sort of, you know, it does look like marble almost, which is, you know, why it's called marble statue, and that's definitely a cat hair. Or one of mine. No, it's one of mine because it's really long. Time to shave my head, I think. Try and keep the hair out of my work. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, and we do an open block. And there we have it. You can see the full repeat is done. And when we come back, or when I come back the other way, I'm just going to have an empty block there, and I'm going to do a double crochet into each double crochet all the way along, and then have a final empty square there. So that will be row 11. This is row 10. Row 11 will be exactly the same. Okay, so yeah, I'll see you back here when I've got to the end of row 11 and starting row 12, which will be the eyes. Okay, I'll be back shortly.
My mummy says for every person that subscribes, I will get a special treat. So please, can you hit the button so I can be fed? Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so as you can see, I have done rows 10 and 11. So we're now going to work on rows 12 and 13, which will be our eyes. I'm going to break from the traditional fillet method while I do the eyes. I have written out what I'm actually doing, and I'll see if I can explain it just a little bit for those who like to read charts or are able to read charts. We are going to start, this row will be very much fillet, but the next row won't be. So we're going to start with an empty block. We're going to have 2 filled blocks, and then we're going to chain 13. The reason we're going to chain 13 is because 3 of the chain are going to count as this sort of double crochet that goes into this double crochet. Then I've had to slip in an extra chain there because I didn't do enough. We're going to have 7 chain, which will equal this 7 stitches that we will be skipping. Then we've got 3 chain again, which will be the double crochet, stand for the double crochet that goes into this one. We're going to skip, then we're going to do our fill in our block. Then we're going to do 3 more chain, which will be a double crochet, 7 chain, which will skip these 7, 3 chain, and then we're going to do 2 more filled blocks, and then 1 empty block. But, if you didn't follow any of that, that's fine. I'm going to show you what we're going to do anyway, as I have been all along. So we start off with the traditional 6 chain. Because we're going to make an empty block. So I'm going to do a double crochet into that first stitch. And then we need 2 filled squares. So 1, oops, need to put my yarn back up, my yarn genie back up. Okay, so that's 1 square finished. So it's going to be 2, 4, 2, 4. It's going to be 9 double crochet. Okay, 9 double crochet. Now we do 13 chain, but we only skip 7 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whoops. And we skip, oh dear, 13, and then we skip 7, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We skip, so we go into the next double crochet. This is going to be like the bridge of above the nose and between the eyes. Just grab some yarn because it's not spinning very well at the moment. Okay, and we're just going to have one filled block here. So that's the one filled block above the nose. And we do another 13 chain and skip 7 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we're going to skip 7 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to go into the 8th with a double crochet. And then we should have 8 double crochet left. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we double crochet into the next 8 stitches. There we go. And then we are, as we can see from our stitch marker, this is our dividing, a division between one repeat and the next. So just going to chain 3 again here, and then just go into that double crochet, and that is our repeat. So you repeat that as many times as you need to for the remainder. So now we've got the eyes. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so we've got the eyes formed. And when we come to do the next row, you will find that we're just going to double crochet up to here. And instead of double crocheting into this last one, we're going to let this 3 of these chain be that stitch. Then we're going to single crochet 7 along the top. Allow this to count as a double crochet. I'm going to do 3 double crochet. Allow 3 chain to count as the next double crochet. 7 single crochet. And again, that will count as a double crochet, and we will do 8 more double crochet. Once again, I'm just telling you what we're going, to do for those who want an explanation of what's coming next. But I'm going to show you anyway, and that's going to create our eyes. After we've done the next row, we get back into the filet sort of format where we are making solid squares and empty squares, where obviously clearly this is not what we're doing here. This is just something totally different to what you would class as filet, just to sort of give it a real bit of character, and I think it does. I think it creates some really nice eyes. So I'm going to do my 6 repeats remaining, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to do the next row, and then that will be it for today's video. We'll probably be at around about the 30-minute mark, which I'm trying to keep stable, and yeah, it'll be a few days before the next one comes out. So yeah, I'm going to pause now and get on with my 6 repeat. Okay, so here we are again. I've finished all my repeats, and we are now going to work over the eyes, and this will be our last row for this part. So yeah, let's get into it. So we start again. Whoops, might be a good idea if I actually go in shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain to start. I must have bumped my camera. Hang on, just let me move it a little bit so it's more centered. Okay, and then we're going to do a double crochet into that double crochet. We still only have one empty block at this. Oops, let me try that again. We still have only one empty block at the edge. Okay, and then we're going to work 8 more double crochet. No, sorry, 7 more double crochet. So that's 1. So we're going to work 8 in total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. This, the 3 chain here, 1, 2, 3, these 3 chain are going to act as that 9th stitch. Normally, see how there's a stitch gap there? Well, we're actually going to bring this chain up so it becomes the 9th stitch there, and we're just going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain. 1, 2, 3. Now, it doesn't matter how you do that, as long as you have one chain below. Well, sorry, doesn't matter how you can have one chain, one part of the chain below and 2 above, or whatever. But you now have 9. So you have the 2, 4, 6, 8, and that acts as your 9th. So it's exactly the same as the row below. Okay, now in the next 7 chain, we're going to do single crochets. Now, once again, as before, if you wish to crochet just into the chain space, by all means do that. But I will be doing my single crochets into the actual chain itself, just so that they do not slide about. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And that should leave us with 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, which are going to act as the double crochet going into this double crochet. So we're not going to put a double crochet into that stitch there. We're just going to count these 3 double crochets as that. So I'm just going to go straight into the next double crochet with a double crochet. Okay. No, it's probably a little bit loose, but that will. Oh, hang on. No. Sorry, I do need to slip stitch into the top of that one. I do need a slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain to secure it and to so that we've got a V to work into when we come back in the opposite direction. Then we work into that double crochet, the second one, not the first one. So we're just going to do 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and I'll show you on here what we've done is we've got, see, this counts as the outer double crochet, these 3 chain. Then we do 1, 2, 3 to fill this block, and then we got another 3 chain coming up. And you can see above here the little plus signs in crochet count as single crochets. So you can just see a little single crochet into each chain. The chain are the circles. Okay, so we've done 3. So once again, 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain, the third chain, and that becomes our 5th double crochet. So we've got 5 double crochet here, and we've got 5 double crochet there, even though we've only actually worked 3 double crochet. Then again, we are going to do 7 single crochet. As I say, you can work it into the space or you can work it into the stitches. I just think working it into the stitches just creates a neater edge. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Bit of blah. 7, and then we got 1, 2, 3 left. Just like before, we're going to slip stitch into that, and that is going to act as the double crochet that goes into this stitch. So we're going to skip that spot there, and we're going to go into the next double crochet with a double crochet, and then we are going to double crochet all the way across, and it's 2, 4, 6, 8 double crochet plus the chain, which is acts as our 9th double crochet. Just getting some more yarn. My yarn genie doesn't want to play nice. It's actually not a yarn genie, it's just one of the copies. Okay, that's 9 all up, if you count the chain 3 as one. So now we've got our eyes sort of framed, and we are going to do a chain of 3, and we're going to work into where our stitch marker is. That is the end of the repeat. So I'm just going to hold that there so it doesn't come undone. And we have now done row 13. Okay, when we come back in the next couple of days, we are going to get back into the filet sort of mode where we're going to be above here, above the eyes. We will be, because we've already got a single crochet there, we're just going to put a half double crochet, and the single crochet and the half double crochet together will equal the height, give or take, of a double crochet. Because effectively what we've done here by doing these single crochets into these stitches is do part of the next row, and you'll see what I mean when I post the next video in a couple of days. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go on and do my next 6 repeats, and we'll come back in a couple of days to show you hopefully the last few rows And then, yeah, I will leave it to you to do the second repeat because you'll probably need to do at least 2 rows of skulls for the width. You might want to do 3. It's entirely up to you. And then we'll start working on crocheting it, putting it together. Okay, thanks for watching. Don't forget your thummies, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Hi, and welcome back to By Hook or By Needles. My name is Sam, and today we are on this really weird looking row 14. Um, it it's really my way of writing. I mean, it is the proper way of in symbols and that to use. Uh, but I understand that it might be confusing for some. But I'll walk through it quickly, the diagram I've done here, and then we'll just go straight into doing it. We've only got, as you can see, 5 rows left, and I really want to try and get them done today if I can in 30 minutes. So if I rush, I apologize. So we're going to start off again with just one blank square. We're going to fill in 2 squares. And then you know how we did 7 single crochet into or either the 7 chain space or we did them actually into the chains. Well, now we're going to do 7 half double crochets into each of those, well, not 7 into each, 1 half double crochet into each of the 7 single crochets. And together with the half double crochet and the single crochet, that should give us, approximately the height of the double crochet, which is what I'm aiming for. And then we get to the end, and then we do double crochet, we fill in, double crochet, and then we do that again. Half double crochet into each of the single crochets, and then 2 filled blocks and 1 empty one. And then we've got some really straightforward, we've got 2 rows that are exactly the same again, which we can, work in one lot. And then the last 2 rows before we have to repeat the skull again. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Oh, there's my hook. Okay. As always, we are going to start off with a chain of 6. And we're going to do a double crochet into that double crochet. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8th double crochet into the top of that chain. Remember we did a slip stitch into the 3rd chain? Well, that's the V that sort of forms the slip stitch. So we need basically 9 double crochet here. So because we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 below, so we need to make sure we've got 9 again. Then I'm going to find the top of that slip stitch, and we're going to do a 9th. We'll just check 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Now half double crochets, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that's a slip stitch from the previous row, and that's where we're going to work a double crochet. So 7 half double crochets into the next 7 single crochets, and see how that sort of almost matches in height. I'll just count. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and then we've got 2, 4, 6. One more is 7. And then we're going to do a double crochet into the slip stitch. 3 double crochet. And then there's another slip stitch, and we're going to do another double crochet into that. So that gives us 5 double crochet between the eyes, which is consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we're going to do it again. Half double crochets. 7 above the next eye. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then again, we're into that slip stitch. We are just going to do a double crochet, and we should be doing 9 double crochet, oops, to the end there. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we're going to finish with 1 empty block. And into that stitch with a double crochet. Okay, so that is row 14. We need to obviously finish that, complete that for the oh, no, you've already had food. Cats are meowing at me. Yeah, I've got another 6 to do, so I will come back and show you rows, what am I up to? 15 and 16. Okay, I will see you very, very shortly. Okay, so you can see here that I've finished row 15. And yeah, that looks pretty even. If you can't get it to sort of be even, maybe just do a double crochet down into, this, into the chain over the single crochets if that's not working, if the row of single crochets and the row of half double crochets isn't working out for you. But once it's sort of blocked or washed and worn, it's really going to not be noticeable if it's out by just a few, millimeters. So row 15 and 16. As you can see from the diagram I have up on the screen, we're going to start with 2 empty blocks. We're going to work, 7 full blocks, and we're going to finish with 2 empty blocks. Now these next 2 rows are going to be exactly the same. So I'm not going to show you come back at the end of row 15. I will come back at the end of row 16. Then we only have 2 rows left, and I'm hoping to get them done before we hit our 30 minutes. And then hopefully we can talk about, well, we have to do the repeat again, but then we can sort of start talking about the cuffs and finishing off. So that'd be great. All right, so once again, we start off with a chain of 6. We turn our work, we do a single crochet, sorry, a double crochet. Whoops, got to get rid of my picture. How did I do that? That's how I did that. Yep. Okay, double crochet into the first double crochet. No, yes, sorry. I'm confusing myself now. All right, and 3 single crochets. We skip 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet, and then we are going to work double crochet all the way across, which will be, it'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Hang on, let me just 24, 24, 26, 28. Should be 28, no, 29, sorry, stitches. 29 stitches is what you should have. So we will do those, and we should be ending up where we need to be in order to do our 2 empty blocks at the end. I know I've said it before, but I'm really loving this yarn. It is so very soft and drapey. And I think the colour's really working out well for it as well. It's that real, bony, haha. Hate to sort of, be cliche, or punish, but it's a real bony colour, and it's really coming across really nicely. I mean, I could have used white, but I think this sort of changing colours gradually is working out just as well. Remember, if you have any questions or worries or concerns with what you're doing, you can always leave a question in the comments below, and I will get back to you. At the moment, I get back to everybody who comments, especially if they've got a question, I will answer it. Okay, so let's see if we've got 29. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Oops, I missed then. Hang on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29. Beautiful. And that's how many we need. We're going to do a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to work into the double crochet, which, as you can see, is our double crochet that goes all the way down. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do another double crochet in the double crochet, which separates our repeats. There's our repeat marker, and that is the full repeat. So I'm going to do this all the way to the end, and then I'm going to come back and do exactly the same. I'm just going to put spaces above spaces and double crochets in all the double crochets. So I'll meet you back at the end of row 16, and then we're down to just our last 2 rows. I'll be back in what will seem like a few seconds. Okay, so I have finished those 2 rows, as you can see, and we're going to work on the final 2 rows of this pattern repeat. Obviously, if you were doing just one repeat, you would add an extra 2 rows above this graph here of just plain 2 rows of squares like I've got at the beginning. But because this is a repeat, this is one full repeat, you will basically just do this again. So at the very top, you will be doing 2 more blank squares, rows of blank squares or empty blocks, like it starts off as. So let's get these 2 rows done. They are row 17 is just a repeat of row 4, and row 18 is a repeat of row 3. So if you want to, you can just, go back to that section, that section and do that, or you can just sort of follow along here. Now, row 17 is asking for 3 blank blocks, followed by 5 filled blocks, and then finishing with 3 blank blocks. Row 18 is 4 blank, 3 filled, 4 blank. So let us get to it. Ah, dear. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because we always start every row with 6 chain, and we go into that first double crochet with a double crochet. As I say, we're going to have 3 blank squares. So we've already got 2 there. Oh, come on, yarn. And then we're going to do one more. 1, 2, 3. So we chain 3, skip 3, and go into the next double crochet with a double crochet. Then we are going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, hang on, 21. We're going to be doing 21 double crochet, and then we're going to do another 3 blocks. So I just do that. So nice to be finally at the repeat. I'm hoping to be able to get the repeat done fairly quickly so that I can then show you how I'm going to border and join the section of the arms. That will vary. Now you may need 1 repeat, you may need, if you're using really thick yarn, you're probably going to get away with just 1 repeat. If you are using really thin yarn like me, you might even need 3 repeats, especially if you're like me and you've got a big bum that you want to cover, and a bit of a body to cover up. But I'm not making this for me. I'm making this, for somebody else. So I'm only going to be doing 2 repeats, as I did with the initial design or pattern that you would have seen in the pictures at the beginning of every video. There's or on the video thumbnail, sorry, there's a picture of the shrug, and if you want to see a picture, there is also a picture on the posts page of the channel. So I just check I've got 21, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. So then we're going to chain 3, skip 3, go into the next stitch. Oh, sorry, I'm low down. I don't know what's happened here. It's a bit weird. I was further up before, or lower down before, but now I need to move again. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet into the double crochet, and as you can see from my stitch marker down here, that is the end of my repeat widthwise. And as I say, this row was the same as row 4, and the next row is going to be the same as row 3, just in case you're interested. It comes back, almost full circle, so to speak. Sorry, no pun intended. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to finish my other 6 repeats, and then I'm going to come back and show you the last row of the skull repeat. If you're finishing, you'd need to do 2 more rows of just empty blocks, but you're going to continue. If you're going to continue on, then you're going to have 2 rows of empty blocks anyway, because you're doing the repeat from the very beginning. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully it'll become clearer. All right, back in a second. Okay, I am back with our last row of our repeat. We are going to have 4 blank or empty blocks, 3 filled blocks, and then 4 empty blocks. And that will be our last row of the height repeat. And then I'm going to just go ahead and do my second repeat. And so the next video will be joining for the sleeves and doing the cuffs and the edging. Okay, so we'll just get started. Yep, it's once again 6 single chain, 2, 4, 6. I almost said 6 single crochet, but no, 6 single chain. And we are going to go into that first double crochet, chain 3, into the next double crochet, chain 3, to the next double crochet, chain 3, into the next. Then we chain 3 and we skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and we go into the 4th stitch. Okay, and then we are going to work. Where we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, and that should leave us with 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, which it does. So we chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We go into the last stitch, we skip 3 and go into the last stitch with a double crochet. Then we need to make 3 more empty blocks. So we are going to chain 3 and go into the next stitch. Chain 3, go into the next stitch. Chain 3, go into the next stitch. Okay, and that is that. We have our skull finished. It's hard to hold it up right because it will, you can't sort of see it, but there it is. That is all you need to do. Like I say, if you've used really thick yarn, you will need to just do 2 rows like this, and this is wide enough sort of thing for you. You will just need to do these first 2 rows of the repeat at the end just to finish off. If you have used really thin yarn like I have, then you're going to need at least 1 more repeat, depending on how much of your back and bottom you want covered. You may need to go to 3. Out of interest, I will show you, I'm less than halfway, and I've still got quite a bit of yarn left in my first ball or first donut of 100 grams of yarn. That's going to take me quite a way through the second repeat, so I'm definitely going to get my project finished within the 200 gram mark, as I had hoped. I'm not, like I say, as I've said before, I'm not 100% certain how much it's going to work out to be if you're using a DK or anything else, because I haven't done those calculations. For me, this shrug was more about drape and laciness rather than chunkiness and warmth. So I did it in a lightweight. And when we come back, what we're going to be doing is joining just part of the edges for our sleeve, and we're going to do an edge finish at each end for the sleeves, and then we're going to do a center edging for all the pieces in the middle, just like the original shrug. Just a moment, I'll try and show you that. So here we are looking at the final project. As you can see, I've done 1 repeat already, so I'm up to here. I just need to do another repeat. This will be the center edging, which comes around the back, and then of course you just have the edging on the cuffs as well. And how much you want to do with that, or how you want to do that, we'll talk about those options in the next, and I hope final part of the Halloween Kale, and I hope you are enjoying it or have enjoyed it so far. Just a moment, I just got to get that and do that. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's how my skull is looking. I'm now going to, like I say, continue on and do 1 full repeat and start showing you how we finish off this cowl. All right, thanks for watching once again. Please give me a thumbie, and I will see you next time when we finish this off and can actually try it on. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of this fabulous content. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning and welcome in, and welcome back if you've been watching the whole series of this cowl. As you may be able to see, I have finished 1 repeat. So I've got a second row of skulls done. So I'm ready to join for the sleeves and do the cuff, which I did very simply on the original one, which I will try and show you now. Give me a second. Okay, you can see there that's the previous one I had made. It has 2 repeats, 2 rows of skulls. I've done a frilly sort of border around the body, I suppose, and around along the bottom. The sleeves were very simple. I just joined a small section and just did one row of single crochet or half double crochet, whichever you decide you wish to do around them. I'll show you now how we do that. And then, yeah, we can move on. So here we are. As I say, I've done my 2 repeats. Now, let me show you what I've already done. I've only done a small section for the sleeve. I've done actually 16 squares worth. And the reason why I haven't gone further up for the sleeve was because I like the, having a lot of, a big gap, so you've got a bit more to wrap around you. You could make the sleeve join longer or shorter. This is, how long is this? Let's have a look. This is 30 centimeters, which is 12 inches. Depending on your preferences or your sizes, you can do whichever. As you can see here, possibly if it focuses, I've just gone over the edges with a single crochet. I put 3 single crochet in between the double crochet and just crochet the 2 halves together, and then I put a single crochet into the 2 double crochet and held them together. And I've just done that for 16 squares, and then I sewed in my ends. For the cuff here, I've just done 2 half double crochets and then 1 half double crochet for the double crochet, and just done that all the way around. And that's actually given a little bit of a flare, sort of flares out a little bit. If you really want a ruffle on that or a flare on that, then you might want to go over it a few times and perhaps put 2 half double crochets or 2 singles or whatever you're using into each stitch to really sort of get a ruffly look on it. But that's that side. I haven't done the other side, so I'm just going to show you how I do that and how I do the cuff. So now I'm running low on yarn, which is surprising because I've got I could have sworn that the 200 grams would be more than enough, but then I remembered I think I actually used part of a ball for something else, and that might be why I'm running a little low. But not to fear, I've actually got some really creamy, it looks white but it's cream, and I think I might actually add a ruffle in to both the cuff and the rest of the shrug in this cream just to finish it off, but we're not at that stage yet. So I just do my slip knot as per usual. I get the 2 corners of my sleeve together, and I'm just going to do 3 single crochet, and then a single crochet into the double crochets. Oops. Yep. And bring them together. And I'm just going to do that all the way down till I've done 16 blocks, 16 windows. If you want to have these as half double crochets, you could do them as slip stitches. I wouldn't do them as half double crochets because then the ridge is going to be really obvious. If you did them as slip stitches, it's going to be less noticeable. I'm just trying to think, did I do the other half as slip stitches or not? Let me have a look again. No, I did do single crochets, but you could do slip knots if you wished. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a single crochet. So 3 in the gap, 3 single crochet in the gap, and then 1 single crochet in the top of the 2 double crochets. Okay, I'll meet you. I've actually put a stitch marker in the last one. So I will pause here and come back when I am at the stitch marker. Okay, so here we are. I just remove my stitch marker and I will do my final single crochet through the 2 double crochets. Whoops. Do a chain. Cut my yarn and pull through, and I'll sew that end in shortly. So I've done 16 blocks, squares, windows, whatever you would like to call them, and that part is done. Now I'm going to do the other cup, and on this one, as I say, I started with just 1 stitch, 1 half double crochet on this side of the join for the sleeves. Then I went over to the next side and I did 2. I thought I did half double crochets. They are half double. I think these are singles. Never mind. No one will notice if I don't tell them. Anyway, so yeah, half double crochet. Then I did 2 half double crochet, half double crochet in the half double crochet in the double crochet, and then just 2 half double crochet, single half double crochet, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around. So that gives me a nice base for if I want to add the cream for a lacy edging. Now you could turn these sleeves into being a bell sleeve if you wished. So that would just be a matter of sort of increasing and increasing until, they were as wide as you wanted them to be. Or you could just continue doing it with the stitch count as it is. Or you could even start decreasing just to bring them down so that they're not as wide. But they're not very wide, really. I mean, I suppose my arm, it would be sort of twice the width of my hand. I could get 2 arms in there, but I don't think that's too wide. I like a little, it is a shrug, so it doesn't have to be sort of really snugly fit. It's up to you. Like I say, these things can be changed to each and everyone's personal preferences. So once again, I'm going to make a slip knot to start. And like I say, if you want to do double crochets here, do double crochets. If you want to do trebles, do trebles. If you want to continue doing a mesh stitch, then you would do, let's say if you were doing a mesh stitch, you would do a double crochet here, a standing double crochet. You would chain 3, and then you would go to the center piece, and you would just do a double crochet in there, like that. Okay, then you would do 3 chain, and you would go to the next double crochet, and you could do that just to extend the length of the sleeve if that's what you wanted to do. And you could just go with that for as long or as short as you wanted. But as I said before and showed you on the other sleeve, I've got to keep them the same. So I'm just going to do a half double crochet. So I'm going to start with a half double crochet to the right of my join. There we go. Then I'm going to jump over to the other side. I'm going to do 2 half double crochets in between the double crochets here, and then I'm just going to put 1 half double crochet into the double crochet, like that. So 2 in the gap, and then 1 in the double crochet. Come on, stop being annoying. It's getting to the stage where it doesn't want to unravel very easily. Come on, let's get a bit of yarn. Okay, so that is how I'm going to do the beginning of my cuff. As I say, I do think I want to add a little bit of a ruffle in it, and I'm going to add a little bit of a ruffle in it with some white that I've got, or cream that I've got. It gives a nice stark contrast to this bone color that I've been using, this marble statue color. But if you don't want to have a big ruffle, you could once again, when we're doing the body part around the shrug, you could just as easily just do this, half double crochets once or twice, and leave it at that. I know it's it's very much a personal preference as to what people like and dislike. So I'm trying to make it as open as and as easy to change as possible, so that you can really give it your own flair and personality. Okay, so 2 in the gap, 1 in the double crochet. And I'm just going to go all the way around, and I'll meet you when I get back to the beginning. Okay, so here we are, almost at the beginning again. I'm just going to finish off these last few stitches. Only 1 in this, because remember we started with 1, so we just finished with 1, and that gives us a 2 for the space. And then I'm just going to join to the first stitch and do a slip knot to a chain, and then cut the thread and pull through. Okay, and you can see there's 3 ends there, and there's 1 end down here, which I will do shortly. But first I want to talk about this section here, the rest of the shrug. Depending on what you want to do, whether you, I've still got this much yarn left. I might have enough just to do a few rounds of half double crochets if I wanted to leave it at that, and then if I wanted to add a ruffle with it, I'd have to sort of go for a different color. So I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, so I'm going to start off by just doing as many rows as I can of half double crochets and seeing what I think. I'm going to put it on my dummy and see what how that looks, and see if I feel that the cuffs and body need a ruffle or not. So once again, I just make myself a slip knot, and I come to the join, the top of the other end of the sleeve join. Now we're going to be working all the way around the inside of the shrug. So I'm going to start with a half double crochet in here. I'm going to start with 2 because I'm going to put 3 half double crochets in this gap, and then I'm going to do 1 double crochet in the center. But here what I'm going to do, because this comes to a this join usually appears around breast level, I want it to just be a little bit longer here so that it actually sort of stands out a little bit, so that it's not sort of how can I explain it? So it's not pulled back too far, like it doesn't come under your arms, it doesn't draw back, but it actually stands forward and gives you a little bit more space around the sides of your breasts, so it sort of sits a little bit nicer there, if that makes sense at all. Hopefully it will. So I'm going to put 2 double crochet, half double crochet in there, and 2 half double crochet in there, just to give me just a few extra stitches there so that it doesn't sort of pull tight and sort of retract. It'll actually sort of lay flatter around the side of the chest breast. Okay, and then we are going to just do 3 half double crochets, and let me get all this work out of the way so you can see a little bit better. And this is going to be how we're going to work all the way around. We are just going to do 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 half double crochet into the double crochet. Now if that looks a little bit too clustered for you, you might want to go back to just doing 2. You know, what you want it essentially to sit so that it makes the square square, because in this section is going to be more sort of visible than the underarms or the cuffs. And of course we might want to end up putting a ruffle on this as well. So the more stitches we put in this, sort of the better. So if you're planning to put ruffles in and it looks a bit crowded with just with 3 in, then that's probably not a bad thing. It's going to help you create a nice ruffle. But I'm happy with that. That looks just like a nice square. It's not gathering it. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. A lot of this, pattern as I was doing it was as I'm doing it now. It was play by ear. It was look at what I had. I'd try 3 half double crochets, and if that didn't look right, I'd go back to 2, and that sort of thing. And so it really is, that's where probably you do need to have a little bit of experience. But, as a beginner too, I think you can learn and you can see what's going on, and you can see for yourself whether it's something that you like the way it looks or you don't like the way it looks. That is, really what it comes down to. What sort of finish do you want on your shrug? You know, you might want to be making this for somebody who isn't a huge fan of roughly flashy things and just wants a plain old shrug. So you may just do several rows of this and leave it. You might decide to go all out, grab another couple of skeins of yarn and do a pineapple stitch in it. And as you know, pineapple stitches can be quite lengthy and lacy, and I think that would look pretty spectacular actually on this, as a really wide lacy edge. Once again, it really is down to personal preference. I'd hate to sort of sit here and tell you that you have to do, the edges or the sides or anything in this particular way. If you feel that as you're looking at it, that you'd be happier if it was done a different way, experiment. Become a designer of your own and play around with it. It doesn't matter if you rip it out half a dozen times, if you get it wrong. Just play around with it. Make sure you get it right for you. Um, that's the main thing. Are you happy with it? Yes, great. No, okay, rip it out and start again. Do something different. But usually you can sort of tell, whoops, you can tell when you sort of get to this stage, when you've done this many, whether or not it's going to sort of sit flat or whether it's going to be pulled tight. I would say you don't really want it pulling tight, mainly because you don't want the opening for where your body's going to go. Whoops, sorry. On the shrug, you don't want the body to be closing in. The ring which goes around your neck and armpits and around your back. You don't want that getting smaller. You want it to be at least the size it is now, and then if you put ruffles on, it just gets a little bit looser. I hope that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that will. But look, if I don't make sense with anything, please don't hesitate to either email me if you don't want to ask me in the chat, in the comments section. If you sort of, I don't know, embarrassed to, or, feel that you're keeping a secret from somebody who might be also watching the video or something. Yeah, just email me or ask a question in the comments. If you need to include a photo, you can do that by using the comments. What do they call it now? Is it comments? The community post. Now that is only available for mobile users. I knew the word would come to me eventually. So if you have a mobile, whether it be an iPad or a iPhone, or even an Android, I think it works on Androids as well. Then what you do is you go to your YouTube, you search for my channel, then you click to where it says go to channel. And then when you got to go to channel, there's another button there that says, I think either go to community or view community. And that is where in that section you can actually put posts of pictures of what you've been making on my channel. And then I can go there and view it. And if you want to show me something and ask a question, you might want to show me a picture and say, oh, look, I'm not really sure. Is this too tight? Is this too loose? What should I do? And you want to include a photo, you can do that on the community tab. And, currently I'm getting back to everybody. Okay. I was just saying, you can post on the community post, a picture of what you want to ask about and ask a question. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I hope it didn't mess up too much. I think it went a little bit wonky. I think I lost connection, so I don't know what happened there. I shouldn't have lost connection because I'm just recording. I'm not actually going live. So I don't know why it popped up with that message saying that I'd lost connection. That's frustrating. I might have to play this back and see what it's like. So I'm going to just pause here, and I'm going to come all the way back to the very beginning here. And while I'm doing that, I will possibly check and see what's happened. Okay, so I'll be back in a little while. Whoops. Okay, so I'm just going to finish off this round, and I'm down to a very small ball of wool yarn. I'm not going to get around again with that. So I'm going to 3 half double crochets in the space, 1 in the double crochet. I started off with 2 half double crochets in the space, so I just got to add 1 more, and then I'm going to join. And put this on my dummy, and we'll see what we've got. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, here we are at the end. I've just taken a few photos, but I've also got it on my mannequin. And you can see from the photos, I still haven't decided what to do. I've only got this much yarn left, which was about the same as I had left from the Dahlia full cake, except I think with this one, got cat hair in my mouth. Cats have been pestering me. The only difference between this and the other was the fact that I think I'd already used one of the yarn balls beforehand. Joey, no. Please, no. Joey is such a pain. He's a boy. He's a pain. Alright, so that's one image. Let's see if this one works. There's another. Because you'll be able to see it a little bit easier. No, hang on. Let me... No, that's not going to make any difference, I don't think. Okay. I can't sort of really expand it any more than that. Okay. And then we've got the third image I've taken, which is, I don't know which one. Yeah, which is this one. And that's just a side-on view. So that, I think that's all I'm going to do to this one, because I don't want it to, hang on, I'll just go back to full screen for myself. I don't want it, I don't really want it, sleeves too sort of fancy or too ruffled. So now see how the sleeves, the join is only really from the elbow down. It's not the full length, and that just enables this to hang at the back. Enables the skull on that to hang better at the back. You can see the skull a little bit better there. If I hold it out, you can see a shadow behind it, and then you can see the image a little bit better. Cats. But yeah, I mean, I've just pinned it there so it doesn't sort of fall off. But that's the sleeve join, and we just got a little bit of it. Flares a little bit, but I think that's only because it's not been blocked yet. So if I block it, I think the width of the sleeve will match the width of the cuff, but even if it doesn't, I think it's nice to have a little bit of flare on it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it like that, I think. What do you all think? Maybe, maybe not. I like it like this. So yeah, I'm going to leave it as that. And if you wanted to put a, like I say, if you wanted to put a ruffle on it, you could very easily just go around. You'd be putting, if you want to do a ruffle, I'd do a few rows of just normal, one stitch in one stitch first, and then I'd go for 2 or 3 stitches in each stitch, maybe 3 stitches in one stitch, 2 stitches in the next, and do that for a couple of rounds just to get a bit of a ruffle going. And do the same with the sleeves, although keep in mind the sleeves are going to be fairly long anyway, so if you do add ruffles, you're going to probably be looking at more of a bell sleeve type of thing. It's going to be really sort of quite heavy and wide. If that's the look you want, then great. I think that's probably a good idea to go for. So there we go. Thank you for joining me on this journey. My next adventure, or next make along or cow or whatever you would like to call it, is going to be making an all-in-one. Not this is actually like a jumper, a sweater, but I'm going to be making rainbow and black, and I'm going to make cardigans, but they're going to be all in one. And the only seaming will be again at the top of the sleeves, and that will be it. The sleeves underneath are completely attached already. They're not crocheted on, it's actually crocheted in one piece, so the sleeves come outward. So you knit just the length first, the length of your jumper, however long you want it. Then you start with the sleeves, and we increase for the sleeves and keep going. And then if you want to add length to the sleeve, that's when you make extra stitches or extra rounds on the sleeves. But that'll be the next one I'll be doing, because I finally got measurements from my daughter and my daughter-in-law to be. They finally sent me the measurements, yay, so I can actually make their cardigans. So I hope you will join me for that. Please, Thummies, if you like this, please send me photos if you do make one. I'd love to see them. And yeah, until next time, not sure when my next video is going to drop. Till next time, bye for now. And yeah, I got a feeling there's going to be a few glitches through this video because I was told there was a lost connection. I apologize for that. I don't know yet how to fix that. It's just, I don't know why my connection drops out for a few seconds and then comes back in. I've got a new router and the whole business, so I don't know what's going on there, and I apologize for that. But you won't have missed anything sort of too dramatic. The dropout occurred not when I was sort of actually doing any part, I don't think, of the edgings. So hopefully it should all be okay. If not, and you've got any questions, please. I'm only an email away or a comment away. Okay, till next time.